Frank, come on, man.
And even the what I say now, what stopped, it didn't really stop. I mean, it's a clumsy way of describing something that's not really describable, because you could say that seeking got more intense as well. Not in the sense of I need. I mean, there's no neediness involved, but seeking, for example, I mean, it's a stupid example, but I'm much more engaged in work. I don't know. I kind of lose myself much more in the work, because there's no kind of, I don't know. It seems like I now do many of the things that I always wanted to do in terms of preparation and you know, but I'm not really doing them. It's just happening. It sounds so silly to say that, but it's hard to put in words. Before there was like a drive to but there was like a drive to reach some imaginary object, you know, some state or some, and now that isn't there, but the sort of momentum of whatever's happening is there's much more energy available, you know, like I heard Tony Parsons say this at one point, that the me, I don't know, operates 60% of the energy in 60% of the energy of when there's no me. And I don't know where he got the 60% from. It doesn't matter. But the idea that, or it really seems like I do a lot more stuff. I'm much less tired. It really like practical everyday stuff. And yet, I don't do anything of it. I don't have the feeling I need motivation or struggle or strength or overcoming anything to do anything. It's just happening. That's really a strange, ungraspable thing, that it's just happening. There's no. I heard you said it actually in some of your talks. Sometimes you go running, and you come back home and you say to your wife something like that. There wasn't any effort. I'm running 10 miles and
I got away with
there was any effort.
Yeah, I got away with that one. Yeah. I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, exactly. And this is it.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be stressful as well, obviously, but there seems to be a filter that's gone. Do you know, sometimes when you have as a seeker or just in normal situations, sometimes you realize something, and then all the memories kind of change because you see them from a different perspective. For example, like, I can't think of a good example now, but you like, for example, you have some kind of epiphany or some kind of mindfuckish experience, and then suddenly other things that are in your mind as a memory, they kind of change. You see them in a different light. You go, oh, that's how it was. You know what I mean? And in a way, now the memories have changed, in that it's seen that there was never anyone there. And that's also why you couldn't really say that something changed. You know, because it's seen that it was always that way.
It's always this. Yeah. Whatever is happening is still this.
Exactly. It was always that. I mean, it never was.
I had the thought that I could be hung, drawn, and quartered, and I still could say, the only thing I could, just any story wouldn't be true, no matter what story was made to be said, that I could still just say, well, okay, it's still just this. So, exactly. If I went to another dimension, or you know, blah blah, whatever fantastical story thing that somebody might say. Okay, it's still the underlying this,
exactly.
which is not, which has always been the case. But this, how about shock? Do you find this shocking? Did you find it shocking?
No.
It's cool as a breeze.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
But I guess every story is different. Because in the like, I think, I don't know about shock. I can't really say anything. It seems to me that shock is still in the story part of it.
Okay. So I just feel shock all the time at the moment. Genuinely, it's not like I just go, oh, fucking hell. It's shock, like, oh, not shock is, it's this kind of into the stomach, almost like, oh my God, like.
No, in my case, not, no.
Yeah.
But everybody's different. I heard many. I mean, it's funny to say I heard many stories, because mostly what I heard about is through your podcast. Actually, the first time I heard about this was the 0 and 1.
Oh, really?
That you did. Yeah.
How did you stumble upon that?
I have no clue. I watched it on the internet, I guess.
Okay.
YouTube.
Probably. And
were you I mean, I was.
Were you?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, sort of. I was in spirituality and in meditation and this kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then, but then it was funny when I watched that video. There was clearly a resonance. Had nothing to do with any understanding, but there was a kind of, I don't know, just a felt response that this is it.
Mm.
I don't know. It was very clear that was something different. And then it's funny, I stayed with, I mean, in the story, but yeah, I stayed with that for a bit. And then I was kind of, I've gotten a bit aggressive towards it, even, especially in Tony Parsons. He has this kind of way to not listen to people.
No, that's true.
Yeah. They ask something and he just goes like, yeah, that's what's happening there. Or he would cut them off after 2 words
and not listen.
Yeah, exactly, because he knows it's just a blush of story that's coming out and it doesn't mean anything. But of course, when you're intensely searching, you get super aggressive. Or I did. I got really aggressive when I would listen to his talk. I was like, fuck, let him talk, man. He thinks that he's got something to say.
See, the story is so important, isn't it?
Exactly. It's so important. It's a really important story.
And yet, it's the same time the story is actually strangling this happening. It's kind of suffocating things, really. See, I was going to say, see, I don't know anything about liberation or whatever the fuck. I actually don't know anything at all. And that's why you can totally see why this is the most useless thing you could ever hear.
It's absolutely useless. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's absolutely useless.
But on the same breath, then it's just, if you hear it, it can pull the rug and the life right from under your feet. It can just
apparently. But since we're only pretending, it doesn't really do that.
Yeah.
It's funny you said that about pretending. You can really see. I can see in your eyes, Frank, that you're pretending.
Yeah.
It's obvious you're pretending.
Thanks.
I mean, it's not you that's pretending, but there's pretense. Is that the word? Pretense?
Pretense. What? Pretending in what way? Is a matter.
Oh, in every way. In every way.
Yeah. Go on, give me in what anyway. What do you mean? I don't know what you mean.
I don't know. There's a clear character there in everybody.
Yeah.
But that character has no center.
Yeah.
It's just it's a character. It's a feature of this.
Yeah.
It's not even a character. I mean, you could go. You can't really say anything about it, but you could. I mean, pointing is all we can do. But the character doesn't have a feature of the character is to distinct between things. I'm not quite sure if that's, I mean, it's never accurate, but if that's good phrasing. But anything we do really is a distinction, right? Anything that's speakable, that's graspable, is a distinction between, well, the things are being created by distinction. Distinction seems to be a feature of this in a way. And anything that we like, the room, the window, the wall, anything is a set of distinctions, really, including the center that sees that, or the person. So without distinction, obviously nothing changes. I mean, I can still see black and white and up and down and all these things. It's completely the same thing. But, and it's not like nothing changes, obviously. I mean, you know that. Nothing changes. I don't have a blurred vision now. Nothing changes in that sense. But it's seen that the distinction is not ultimately real. It appears to be real, but it's not. I don't know. It's tricky to. I mean, impossible to explain, obviously, but I can't really. Haven't thought about how to put it in proper words. But it seems that everything that the mind plays with or struggles with is a distinction between something that's only being brought into existence by distinction. You know what I mean? And so it's this kind of snake eating its own tail thing, that by distinction creates the objects that are distinct from each other. And I mean, ultimately, even distinction is, of course, distinct from something else. So also here, there's a kind of a centerlessness. It's nothing is in relation to anything, or in a sense, everything is in relation to anything, because existence is relationship, right? For example, if you had an empty space, whatever that is, with one object in it, you couldn't say if it moves or if it does move, right? Because like it needs the relationship to be, like we say, for example, if you have one planet in empty space, you don't know if it's going somewhere, if it's moving, other than if you take a position that is still, then the thing is moving, but it's moving in relation to your position. You could never say if you are moving or the thing is moving. Right? So fundamentally, what happens with this is that things kind of lose their thingness, and then at the same time they lose not at the same time, but at the same time they lose their relation to other things, and therefore they completely lose their, I mean, not therefore, but it seems that it's all connected in a sense. Then they lose their, they're not there anymore. Even clearly I see the things, you know, but since this dropping of the center, I heard you talk to someone about that as well. Like there's nothing new in what I say, but there's center.
I was going to say,
help me out.
Well, we're talking about what's happening. We're talking about this.
Yeah. Well, it's not that we're talking about this.
Are you trying to describe a scenario? You're trying to describe a scenario of how this is seen differently? Is that by you're saying like that there's, as opposed to seeing a painting, we're seeing parts of paintings or whatever. Is that what you're saying?
No, not really. That's it's coming back to the nothing changes thing. Nothing really, really nothing changes. I should say, it's not that. It's not that now I see a full picture and before I only saw parts. It's more the thing is maybe before and after, if we can use that. Before there is one sees the picture, right? And after there's just nothing. There's clearly the same image, but it's nobody sees it, and also it's not an it.
Mm.
Yeah,
I mean,
from
my perspective, the only thing that's happening is this, and the only thing that's ever happened is this.
Yeah.
And, outside of that, of all the things that can appear, and all the discussions, and all the stories, and all the descriptions appear as a happening in this, and they are neither correct, not correct. They're just a happening. And they're pretty amazing or whatever, but it's still just this though, whatever.
It's always this.
It's always this. And in that, this describing this is happening. And that's the beginning and end of it, really. It's like kind of...